What happens when your hero forgets the instructions, your quest feels cursed, and your most dependable party member is a depressed frogman with the energy of Eeyore and the heart of Samwise Gamgee? Well, you've probably stumbled into the silver chair. And lucky for you, so did I. Let's talk about it. Hello, friends. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, horror, and other nerdy things we enjoy. I'm just a dad with an obsession for fantasy and sci fi and horror, and I raised my boy right. He loves all the same things. I'm Jim, flying solo, and I'm going to take you into the murky, marvelous mess of C.S. Lewis's The Silver Chair. This episode is mostly spoiler light. Perfect whether you've never read it, haven't read it in decades, or are halfway through and starting to wonder why Aslan doesn't just text the instructions next time. If you have read it before, be sure to stick around to the end, because I'll switch gears into full spoil commentary, just for those of us who have made the journey already through the wastelands of the North. Okay, let's lay down the basics. This is about The Silver Chair by C.S. Lewis, published in 1953, part of the Chronicles of Narnia. This genre is classic children's fantasy, but honestly, it hits deeper than many adult fantasy books do today. This is the sixth book in Narnia chronologically, but it was the fourth one published. You'll find it in chronological order if you buy it nowadays, but back in the day, nah, it was book four, and that's how I originally read it. It is the first without any Pevensies in sight. I know, Lucy fans. I felt that a little way too. The story begins with Jill Pole, a new character who escapes bullies at her terrible British boarding school and finds herself in Narnia with our old friend Eustace Scrubb, now slightly less punchable than the last time we saw him. Aslan gives them a mission: find the missing Prince Rillian, son of King Caspian. Sound simple? Well, it would be if Jill didn't immediately forget the divine instructions. Oops. They're joined by Puddleglum, a marshwiggle with the attitude of a doomsday prepper crossed with a faithful Labrador. Together, the three journey north through creepy giants, desolate wastelands, and underground kingdoms in search of the lost prince and themselves. Now, let's be honest. As much as I respect this book, and I really do, it's not perfect. It's not one of my favorites. Here are three common complaints I've heard and, well, have even muttered once or twice or thrice. Jill Pole's incompetence is the first one. She spends most of the book either ignoring, forgetting, or misinterpreting Aslan's instructions. It's like watching someone navigate with a GPS they left in the glove box. Second, the uneven pacing. Parts of this book fly, others slog like a marshwiggle in knee-deep mud. Some readers feel the middle meanders a bit before we get to the juicy stuff underground. And three, the villain feels familiar. While she's intriguing, the Green Lady often feels like a retread of the White Witch from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but with more snake metaphors and fewer Turkish delights. But here's 5 reasons that a lot of people love this book, and these are the redeeming qualities. So I don't want my concerns, criticisms to be scaring you off. There is a lot to love here. Many fans rank this among their favorite in the series. So here's why. Number 1, Puddleglum. Period. He's the MVP of the quest, funny, brave, cynical, but wise, and somehow always right. He'll make you laugh and then inspire you 5 seconds later. 2, the return of Eustace Scrubb. He's no longer that brat from the Dawn Treader. He's grown, matured, and while his old self does still peek through now and then, it makes his character arc all the more satisfying. 3, a darker, grittier tone. This isn't the sunny, whimsical Narnia that you may find in some of the other books. This one dives into loss, doubt, and deception. and that gives it depth. Number 4, psychological themes. Memory, manipulation, free will. The silver chair goes surprisingly deep for a children's book. The spell scene alone is the stuff of academic essays and book clubs. And number 5 is the ending. It's earned. It's emotional. It brings closure in the best way, both for the story and for certain characters that we have followed since earlier books. If you've read The Silver Chair, or even just started it, I'd love to hear what you think. Do you love Jill? Do you want to shake her? Are you secretly a Marshwiggle? Drop a comment below. But please keep it spoiler light for those who haven't yet made the full journey. Or just tell me who your favorite Narnian creature is. I'm kind of a sucker for talking horses. I'm still mad the horse and his boy doesn't get more love. But if you haven't read the story yet, this is where you need to stop. We got spoilers beyond this point. Thanks for being with me. We'll talk to you next time.
The Spoiler Room.
All right, you were warned. You're still here. Let's jump into spoiler territory. First off, Puddleglum. The man, the myth, the Marshwiggle. His speech under the lady's enchantment, where he stomps out the fire and declares that he'll live like a Narnian even if there is no Narnia. Chills, man. Literally. It's one of C.S. Lewis's best writing moments, period. Now, the Green Lady? Yes, she's reminiscent of the White Witch, but there's something more subtle here. She doesn't rule with brute force. She deceives, seduces, and manipulates, slowly erasing identity and memory. She's gaslighting incarnate, and that makes her a powerful allegorical villain, especially for readers wrestling with doubts and toxic influences. Eustace Scrubb's development deserves a little more praise. He's not perfect, and I love that. There aren't perfect people. Lewis doesn't wipe away his past, he builds on it. His moments of pride or temper show that redemption isn't instant. Change is a process. We are always becoming. And finally, that ending. Rescuing Rillian, escaping the underworld, returning to Narnia. It all crescendos beautifully. It takes a while to get there, but there's a real emotional payoff. I mean, saying goodbye to an aged King Caspian and the brief, poignant moment in Aslan's country where grief and hope meet. That's pure Lewis, and it hits harder the older you get. So there you have it, The Silver Chair. A flawed, fascinating, and incredibly moving chapter in the Chronicles of Narnia. It's not everyone's favorite. Like I said, it's not even my favorite, but I'd argue it's one of the most theologically and psychologically rich novels in the collection. If you liked this review, go ahead now. Remember, hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that bell so you don't miss our next fantasy deep dive. Okay, then. May your signs be remembered, your courage never fail, and above all, we'll talk to you next time.